Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Sepsis Survivor, her story, our story. This is part 5, I believe, correct? The final installment of this one. We could go on forever and ever, but as you remember in the last one, we were kind of telling you for the point when she was back from the hospital, I believe, up until she was about ready to go back to work, and it was about 3 months after she got out of the hospital, uh, which according to you, I believe, and I believe this also was probably too early to go back to work. Don't you
It
think?
was way too early. I should have stayed out of work a couple more months because I could have used a whole lot more physical therapy. Because with the sepsis, I am very weak from my hips to my toes. Very weak in the hips, so it causes my left leg to kind of what they call drop or drag. Um, so that's kind of irritating. So to go up and downstairs is still to this day a challenge, and my balance is a challenge. Um, but with more physical therapy, I believe that could be helped.
Right.
And then, of course, you're exercising. So that part is on me. I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to exercise, but that's just another story in itself. That's another journey that we'll
Right.
get on. But the where we're at with this right now is I'm going back to work, and so I went back to work. I'm trying to think. The end of January, the first week of February, is when I went back.
Right.
Way too soon.
And how many hours did you start working when you first went back
When
to
I
work?
went back, I was on part time for 2 weeks, and then I had to. It was a mandatory. I had to go back to full time.
Right. Which could be 32 plus.
Well, no, at the time it was 40.
It was 40 at that time?
Yes,
Okay.
I had to work 40 hours because I was under a different boss, and my job description required that I worked 40 hours a week, 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week, and it was excruciating. I'm talking excruciating. I couldn't hardly stand it. I would cry several times a day because I was in such great pain, and the pain was just, it was like unbearable, not like excruciating, but just annoying. And it was in my legs, so I would try to walk, and I was dragging my legs, and it was awful. So
And the fatigue?
the
Was that there?
fatigue just balled me right over. So my boss at the time allowed me to take a 30-minute nap at lunchtime, and that's what I would do. I would literally just go out, and I would fall asleep within 5 minutes that I was out. And then there were several times when I would drive that I would pull over to the side of the road, and whether it be a Burger King, McDonald's, gas station, whatever was on my en route to home, I would have to do that almost daily because I couldn't even make it home. There was one time in particular that I thought, okay, I can make it home, and I get into the into the parking lot of our apartment complex, and I fell asleep and went into a field, and I just shook me up so much. I called Mike, and I was crying. I could have been a child. It could have been anything. And so, thank God I didn't hit anybody. I just went into a field, and it was fine. But I vowed to myself from that day forward that I would never ever do that again. So even now, every once in a while, the fatigue will hit me, and I will have to just fall asleep for a few minutes. And it's gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah.
I take a nap every day. I took a nap every day before I got sick. So that was kind of a thing, but I don't have to take several naps a day. But
Yeah, that's gotten a lot better with as far as the napping because you used to have to do it all the time, and it's slowly getting better where, you might take 2 or 3, during the day.
little cat naps, little
Right, not at
15-minute
work.
naps, not
Right.
at work though. And then my strength, just plain sucks. I used to have this. I could chew just about anything, but I that's just takes time to build up. But
Right.
as far as my job goes, I ended up with a new boss, and she recognized what was going on and looked into my job description and seen what she could do, and she dropped me down to 32 hours a week, 8-hour shifts, 4 days a week, and that helped tremendously. And my boss has just been completely and totally awesome, and I do my job and I do it well. I can improve on a lot of things, but she's been extremely patient with me. And I'll tell you what, I work for a great company who, we're in the job of disability. So,
Right.
right. So
your strength has been getting a lot better. I mean, this is over periods of months, people, that we're talking here. Months, and now we're getting into years. Now we're talking since then, and there's still some of these problems that persist, but not as bad. Now, when did you? Sometime during this time when you were back to work, you had your colostomy reversed, correct?
Oh yes, we had that done. I went back to work the first week of February, and in the same year, so in June, I had my colostomy reversed. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I remember going in for that.
Right. They weren't sure.
They weren't sure if the bowels would be sleeping, and sometimes it's permanent. And so I remember praying, and I just said to God, I said, I can handle a lot, Lord, and I'll handle this if I have to, but I don't really want to, because it was just...
It's just a pain.
It's a pain, and my skin was so tore up from that, and I just, it hurt, and it was just not fun. But I would do it if I had to.
Right.
And so when I came out of the surgery, which I always take forever and a doggone day to come out of surgery and out of anesthesia, it scares the life out of Mike. I don't do it on purpose. I asked him if it was successful, and he said, so far so good. And we would find out even more as time would progress, and it was fine.
Yeah,
I've had no problems at all.
Works great now.
I can poop like a champ.
That's right. So that was a great thing that happened during all this to be thankful for.
Right, and then the one thing I was going to mention too was the mental.
Right. We could talk about memory.
My memory sucks, and I used to have a sharp memory. I could remember things like there is no tomorrow, and it's the long term and the short term. It's just, it takes a minute. I have to write. My mother-in-law, God rest her soul, was a note taker, and now I know why. Because not only am I battling this, but I got menopause going on and all that. So this is all just, women, it's just not fair. And so then we had to, I have to write notes and just remind myself, or I'll tell Mike, can you set an alarm, because I got to remember to do this or whatever. And that's the only part I don't like. Some things I can recall really, really well. Cooking, things like that, that's not a big deal. I do pretty well on that. But there was something I was going to hit.
Well, you've got that type of mental, but you also have issues with, you've always battled some with depression, but I think this has kind of brought some of that to the forefront a little bit, and things like that, and just with the why me,
Oh, that's been awful, and Mike's been very, 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 very patient with me, because for lack of a better word, I could only think of anger. I was so angry because I was like, why did this have to happen? I mean, my life was good. We were just doing so well, and then all of a sudden I got sick, and then I had survivor's guilt because I don't know if we mentioned this in our series or not, but my coworker, who was 31 years old, passed away from sepsis, and it happened so fast, and it was just after, basically I got back. He got sick, and it's like, this young man was 31 years old, had his whole life ahead of him. How come this does not seem right?
Right.
And so I had that to deal with, and then the part that I'm dealing with right now is just acceptance, and I have to accept the things that are the way they are.
Yeah.
So many things have changed in me and about me, and I have to find my peace and my joy again.
Right.
Because I lost all that.
Yeah, just have to accept the limitations you have and go on from there and and you are thankful, I'm not saying that, but be thankful for being alive, being thankful for the recovery that you have been able to make so far and the journey yet to come. I mean, it's...
The one thing I'm going to say before we end this video is when someone has a chronic illness, whether it be sepsis or cancer or whatever, they might tell you, oh, they don't need anything, but they do. They just need people to be around. And even if they try to shut you out, which I was very good at, I shut all of my friends out and most of my family because I didn't want them to see me this way. You guys see me on camera and I can be happy, joy, lucky, and this and that. But really on the inside, I couldn't accept this. It was terrible. And so when someone tells you, oh, I'm fine, they're really not. And so try to get in there somehow. Try to see them, talk to them, call them. Now, you guys in my YouTube community, my family and friends, have been so good to me. And I don't want you to think that I take that as, you all didn't do your part, because you did. I got cards, letters, and text, and all of this stuff. And we both appreciate that more than you'll ever know. But when it comes to the real world of, the everyday, the family, the friends that are here, just make sure that if the person tells you, no, I'm okay, just make sure.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of that is just with your limitations. You can't do the things you used to be able to do.
Right.
You have to do them a little hour and a half, 2 hours spouts there for a while, for a year. I mean, it took all you could do to take a shower, and then you had to take a nap, and then you'd get ready with your clothes and makeup and take a nap. And then if you went somewhere, you'd pretty much, by the time you got there, would almost have to take a nap and then do something for an hour and a half and then take a nap, and you're just wore out. And so, the family and friends that you're around, you start to shut out just because, you're not the same person. You can't do the same things, and you're kind of thinking for them, you're no good. You can't do things you want them to do. So, but like she said, just put your arms around those people as you should anybody with that. So, that being said, everyone, it's been a long journey. This is what, year 3? Year 3 now from the time she went in. So all this stuff throughout these videos has been a lengthy time in getting better, and it's really a story of perseverance and strength and that, I believe, and thankfulness for God, and it's a miracle. And I believe, the takeaway from all these videos should be to persevere and patience. I did a video on patience today. It's hard to be patient when
Patience was saying right there.
Like when things like this happen. It's so hard to be patient and wait on God and wait just on time to try and heal some of these things. And it just comes down to that, and it's. Kind of the mantra when she was in the hospital is, she's one tough cookie, and she is, and that's how she persevered to survive, I believe. That's how she's persevered till now. But within strength, there's weakness too. But in weakness, there's strength. So when you have people around you that can help you and just be there with you, I believe that you can do anything, and along with God's grace in your life and your belief in that. So. That being said, everybody, we hope you've enjoyed this series. We hope you like, comment, share, all that good stuff so more people can see this and maybe do some good in their lives as well, and just take a glimmer of hope through it. That's really about it.
I will say, just before we end this, sepsis is becoming more and more known here in the United States. It's big in the UK. I don't know why. And so do your homework. We're going to, when Mike uploads this, I'm going to try to have him upload the sepsis meaning and things like that, what to look for. Because, there's some people that just don't get to the hospital in time. So, there's little things you need to look for. They're very simple, and when someone's getting sick, and just so you know, because it's on the rise, and I don't want anybody to ever have to go through this, ever.
Yeah, just basically don't, if you're feeling sick, your body, if you're feeling sick, whether it's sepsis or anything else, go to the doctor,
Go to the doctor, or the hospital.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to push when you get to those places too, because they may misdiagnose something, but if your body is just doing something weird, your body. Don't ignore it. Don't tough it out.
If your blood pressure drops, if it drops like dramatically, I'd be like asking questions. The family member would be like, what about sepsis?
Yep.
If there's a high fever, if there's not a high, I didn't have a high fever. I just, we already talked about that. But
Right.
anyways,
All right, everyone. Well, have a great day, night, evening, whatever it is in your part of the world and country right now.
thank you so much.
Thank you all for all that you've helped us do throughout this journey as well.
Okay, we love you guys. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.